Hey YouTube, welcome back to Trevor's Vinyl World. So when you get into record collecting, whether you know that you're doing it or not, you kind of subconsciously start looking for certain genres of music. Now I collect quite a variety, but basically there are certain genres that I lean towards or prefer. And, I talk a lot of hip hop on this channel. And I also, I'm really big into hair metal. But one of my genres that I've always made an attempt to get into, and I'm not as educated as some people are, but I do like punk rock. And today we're going to talk about this band GBH, and most specifically, I want to talk about this record called No Survivors. And this is an actual live album. And some records will claim to be live albums. Like even this one on the back of it, they kind of talk about, like, what do they say here? Sorry for the glare. Let's see. Oh, well, I don't want it to. But basically, I'll read it. It says this album recorded live is actually what it says it is. The poor bastards into bands like Led Zeppelin and Genesis have got so-called live albums where more has been added in the studio. And then it kind of just goes on to basically say that this is actually a live album. I guess their first single that kind of put them on the map was a song called Leather, Bristles, Studs, and Acne. But basically, this is a band that basically started off in the United Kingdom. And they're just one of those punk bands that I've decided to adopt. I think when you tackle a genre that you're not real sure about, you kind of have to find a couple bands that you're just comfortable with. And yeah, I just kind of, I don't know. First of all, I just love the vibe. I mean, when I think of like older punk bands, this is like exactly what I think of. The front man was or is this band actually still tours. They have a tour coming up in the United Kingdom. So I mean, some of these bands just keep going. I mean, it really is amazing. But when this was recorded in the 80s, and it's still the same front man. His name is Colin Abrahall, and then one of the lead guitarists on here, another Colin, who went by the nickname Jock. So Colin Jock Blythe was the main guitarist, and he also helped write the songs. And then the bass guitarist, who was not the original bass guitarist, but basically became it after a couple years, Ross Lomas. And then the drummer, who does an amazing job, was Andy, and his nickname Wilf, Wilf, Andy Wilf Williams on drums. But this is just an amazing English punk band from the 70s, or late 70s. They have, from 1982 to 1990, they have like 6 or 7 regular albums, plus they have live albums. This one is from 1989 called No Survivors, and then they also have like a 1994 album, Live in Japan, a 1996 album, and then they don't have an official live album until 2014. But this this band put out a lot of records, basically. And yeah, I just like the attitude. One critique I would have, and maybe punk enthusiasts and people that are really heavy into the genre, maybe they would be mad at me for this. But I almost think like it'd be cool to just have like one or two songs that are a little slowed down. Because when I listen to this, and I mean, I listened to this full album just because I kind of feel guilty if I talk about something and I have, I don't have the information on hand. But it's just kind of like, it's kind of overwhelming when you listen to 12 to 14 songs that are just like, a total machine gun coming at you. And actually, a couple of the songs, I was actually surprised that I could totally understand what they were talking about. So that was actually like a pleasant surprise. The first song on this album is called Sick Boy. And some of the lyrics are kind of crazy. Like he's like, I'm strapped into my bed. My nerves are really bad. It's the best time I ever had. But I'm happy the way I am. Like a sardine in a can. People taking notes, people in white coats. So he's basically he's basically talking about being strapped into a bed, in like a, crazy home or hospital. But no, I don't know. Sometimes you just like a band, and I mean, some of the stuff though, like it's almost like they try to shock you. Like they have a song called Necrophilia on here, where they even say like no remorse, screw the corpse. But I think it's just sort of to get attention, which maybe it worked. But yeah, no, I try to, like, when I'm out looking for records, I'm a total hip hop head, and at the same token, I'm also a sucker for some punk rock and post punk. Now that I'm getting older, I think I'm definitely more of a sucker for the post punk because a lot of it is slower. But I just think a band like this, like if you're going to have 12 songs and they're all just rapid fire, in your face songs, I almost wish they would do like maybe 9 or 10 that are like that. And then mix in 2 songs where maybe you have a guest vocalist, or like you have a lady singer, or you slow it down. I know some people don't want to hear that, but I almost think that it would open up your audience a little bit. But at the same token, I mean, it's just a kick-ass band. And, I'm also a big Motorhead fan. And this band just kind of, in a way, reminds me of them. Like, what you see is what you get. We're just going to kick your ass for 45 minutes. And we're not going to slow down. And that's just basically what this band does. So I just wanted to, do a quick little video on them. If you're into punk rock music at all and you have not checked out GBH, definitely check them out. And they have a lot of records out there. I love artists that have a lot of records and physical media for you to grab. They're not one of those bands that only releases something every 5 years. I mean, they put out a lot of, good music throughout the years. And I would say their most famous album is called City Baby Attacked by Rats, and that was one of their first albums, I believe. But anyways, hope everybody's doing good. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and talk at you later. Thanks.